Hey, New York Red Bulls followed me on
Shut up.
Twitter.
Shut up. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the League of Ireland Zone podcast. I'm Jamie, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan. How are you, Dylan?
How are you? Oh, I'm good. How are you?
And we've got a special guest today, haven't we, Dylan? We've got the one and only, the Rovers super fan. We've got Craig, not Kyle. We've got Craig. How are you, Craig?
All right, yeah. What story was?
Yeah, all good. So we've got a lot to talk about today, boys. We have a team of the week, so we're going to that. Then we'll talk about Rovers with you, Craig. Then we can talk about Dundalk. There's more news at Dundalk. There's always news at Dundalk, to be fair. But yeah, some breaking news literally just happened 10 minutes before we started recording. Then we'll talk about the European draw before finally previewing the games for the upcoming game week. So with that said, boys, I think we should jump right into team of the week. So I'll go to you first, Dylan. Who's your keeper for team of the week?
No, don't go to me first.
All right, Craig, you can go first then.
We picked Adamusu off of Drogheda after his performance against Sligo. In my opinion, if he's not the best young keeper in the league, he's the second best young keeper in the league.
No, he's not the best keeper. He's not the best young keeper.
Who's better? McGinty?
McGinty, easily.
Sorry, let me
Counts as young keeper
rephrase.
anymore.
Best young Irish keeper in the league, because McGinty's from Scotland.
That's a good point.
Take the politics out of football.
What? You're just saying he's not from Ireland? Ah. So you're not even from Ireland. You're from Boggerland anyway, Dylan. That'll piss a few people off. I went for Adamusu as well. Yeah, he played very well. To be fair,
I went for Adamusu as well.
Yeah.
Other than getting lobbed by that header, I don't think that.
All right. So left back, Craig. If you're still with us there, left back, please.
I chose Dan Massey again in that Sligo game. I thought he was great.
Yeah, he was very good.
I'd also like to give a shout to former Rovers player Ian Birmingham, whose birthday is today.
Former Rovers player. Stop that now. He had one season at Rovers. He's a past legend. He's not a Rovers player.
Dolce is what he is. Let's be honest about it.
Stop that.
Now, very good player who had a good game the other night against them.
I went with Jamie Maskell from Waterford. Thought he was very good against Dundalk. Just played very well. He's done very well since coming in from England, to be fair. Probably their best signing, in my opinion. All right, over to you, Dylan. Left back.
Yeah, I went with Maskell as well.
What a surprise.
He's very good. He's been good all season. It surprised me when he came over. I didn't think he'd be this good.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
What's that boys? Was he proper good?
Yeah, he was so good. He's after coming in from Bolton. He's like next level. Massey was good too, though.
Yeah.
It's a hard position to choose. All right, now 2 centre backs, boys. Craig, have you got your 2 centre backs out there, or do you want me to go to Dylan?
I have chose Dave Webster for his performance against Rovers. Rovers lad, but I'm not even gonna hold it against him. He was amazing the other night for Harps, and he really kept them in the game. And I also chose Lee Desmond for his performance down in Longford.
Yeah, baller. What about you, Dylan?
I don't know. I didn't really know who to go with as centre back, so I went with Webster as well. For Finn Harps decided to really get a chance this weekend, and then I went with Cameron Evans of Waterford. So he's pretty good in that game against Dundalk. He's been decent all season. He had the rough start with that own goal against Drogheda away, but ever since then he's come up a bit. He's impressed me.
Yeah, I went with Cameron Evans as well. Thought he played very well. And Owen Toll. Owen Toll played very well. Good headers.
No, Craig.
For anyone that's listening, Craig's just after texting in the group chat. Can you see me, boys? Craig, can we hear you? Go on, say something.
I know you can hear me. I cannot see you, Jamie, and I can't see myself in the top right corner.
You can see me, that's all that matters.
Yeah, alright, sure, we'll go on anyway.
Scale bugger on my screen.
Unlucky for you. Hopefully when the recording comes out, we'll all be on it anyway, because I can see you, Craig, so it's all a bit messy anyway. Alright, so I went with Cameron Evans and Toll. 2 solid centre backs. Toll's always good in the air. Him and Mac Janet were both very good actually against both, but I thought Toll probably just edged it a tiny bit. So now to right back, I'm gonna have to cut across the two of you for this one, because I think Craig won't be happy with this one. I'm after going with Shamrock Rovers best ever right back, Ethan Boyle.
Oh,
What do you think about that one, Craig?
I'm not allowing that. No, that's not being allowed. I don't care. How can you say that he had a good game?
He did. He
No,
had a good game.
not.
Yes, he did.
He did not. I watched the whole game. He
So did
did not
I.
have a good game.
Oh, you get angry.
You can't
He
handle it.
was
You
now
can't handle it.
purely because I know how good of a player Ethan Boyle can be. I only know how good of a player Ethan Boyle should be, but it never showed at Rovers. Although I will say he had a good game the other night, he isn't the team of the week best right back this week. League for me, that was Connor Kane against against Sligo. And as many can see, there is a bit of a recurring theme here. Me picking draw the players.
Yeah, they're very good to be fair.
Yeah, because you're such a Sligo. Let's see us doing
Trying to
bad.
piss
So
Dylan
you
off.
pick players from whatever team bet us.
Who have you went with, Dylan?
I went with him as well.
Oh,
Not for yeah, I don't like doing it, but it wasn't
yeah,
our
fair enough.
weekend, and he was just very good. He kept Figueroa quiet most of the game. Figueroa had barely any room to maneuver in that on the left hand side. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah, solid. Now midfield three. So I'm not sure how you guys have done this. I suppose we should just say maybe three at the same time, unless we all have like a holding midfielder in there. How have you went with? Have you just got a flat three or like an attacking midfielder, or what's the story?
Flattery.
Yeah, go on, we'll do a flat
Sam.
three then. All right, so name all three there, Craig, if you wouldn't mind.
Q, John Martin, and Griffin. Two
Mm.
on Watford, Bowslat as well.
Yeah, solid. Both very good. Or three of them very good, actually, yeah. Dylan, what about you?
I thought not Marty Deegan for a drop. He did a decent game against us. I thought Griffin from Waterford.
Yeah, scored a goal too.
Yeah, got a goal. I thought he was very good. And I didn't really know who to went with this one, so I just went O'Keefe for Waterford. It's very good. He's a young player. I think he actually captained them this weekend.
He did, yeah, he did.
That young captain in your boyhood club, it's a big achievement for him. So I thought he did very well.
Definitely. For me, just before I say my three, Gary Deegan actually had an appearance on Cawley's Call, one of the best League of Ireland podcasts. It was actually very interesting. He talks about his time over in England. He had a few behaviour problems and had to come back. So it's actually an interesting listen if anyone wants to spend 20 minutes of their day listening to that. Well worth it. Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I'd have to disagree. I do like that episode and I do like the Dylan Watson one, but I'd have to disagree with you on the Alan Carley, one of the best League of Ireland podcasts out there, because by God does he love to bait Rovers. By God. Oh my God. Every single...
Where's he from though? Where's he from?
He's not a Sligo lad, is he?
Yeah, he's from Sligo.
Oh, is he? I thought he's from up and out. I'm not even gonna lie, I just thought it was a bit of Dundalk.
He's from Sligo.
He likes Dundalk. He's good like to Stephen O'Donnell and all the Dundalk boys. Anyway, I went with Will Seymour, formerly of Sligo Rovers, of course. I don't know why you let him go. He's a good player. I went with Niall O'Keefe as well. Thought he's solid. And Alfie Lewis of Pats. Paired him up for Pats. Played very well against Longford. So yeah, that's my midfield three anyway.
I'd like to throw a special mention into the mix of Dawson Devoy at boss. Now it's not regular for me to be complimenting like it'd be very rare, but I just think Dawson Devoy this season has been both lads have been outstanding for both lads have been being both under the age of 21, being very capable of holding their own the league. Now, in saying that, I am trying to put a bit of a jinx on them, given that the derby is next. But I just think that the lads are outstanding, and if I was to, I know it won't happen, but if I was to pick three players in this window to come into Rovers, but even if it was in the winter window, I would take Darragh Burns off Pats.
Stop that! Stop that! Stay away from Darragh Burns. Stay away. Stay in the Pats, I'm telling you. He's going to be a Pats legend. He's so good. I wouldn't move to Rovers if I was Darragh Burns, to be honest with you. He doesn't really play as a wing back. But then again, he's done all right at wing back, but I think he's more of an out winger, to be honest. What?
I wouldn't move to them full stop.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
bar Culchies, who wants to move to Sligo? Like, if you have the choice of Dublin or Sligo,
I mean, look, we've got Romeo Parks who came from Jamaica. We've got Walter Guerra came from England.
we had
Gibson.
Orhan
So
Voyage. What?
in the past, we've had Justin Moore
Lads,
come from
these lads don't
Cameroon
know the
too.
difference.
But they've
These lads
come to
don't know the
Sligo
difference
and they live
between
in Sligo.
Sligo and the Bahamas. Like, let's be
They're getting lost, are they, Craig?
Orhan Voyage
Anthony
went from
Midrock came
Bosnia,
from, what was that, Bermuda?
and playing with Wolfsburg in Germany to coming over to Ireland and playing for Rovers in Dublin for 6 games. Like, they don't know where they are. There's no point in saying, oh yeah, they picked Sligo over Dublin. No, because they don't know the
Oh,
difference.
come on, give us your attackers, come on.
My attackers were Smith, Chris Lyons for his 2 beautiful. I'm nearly sure he got 2 goals, wasn't it? 2 beautiful strikes against Sligo, and Adam Foley for his goal against Rovers. Even though it hurts me to say that he was playing, and he is the league's top goal scorer.
Yeah, good player. I went with Lyons as well, out left baller. I know he's probably more of a striker, but sure, I had to fit him in somehow. I went John Martin up top, 2 goals. Him and his brother, both very good at Waterford. I know his brother probably isn't getting as much game time as he would have hoped, but 2 solid players. And then Matty Smith on the right, even though he probably played more on the left. Sure, I think I have to fit the 3 of them in there somehow.
Wait, was John Martin a striker?
Yeah.
Or put him in the centre mid?
Sure. To be fair,
4-2-4.
4-2-4. What about you, Dylan?
I went for Adam Foley. He's been unreal all season. He's bagging in the goals, and then he got one again against Shamrock to get them the draw. Also went with John Martin. He hasn't best of players at times, but when he's on his game, no stopping him, and it showed that at the weekend with his 2 goals against Dundalk, and then obviously the third one. Don't really like saying it, but like Chris Lyons, he's been class this season,
Yeah, it really is.
He had to come back and score against us 3 times this season,
Now, can I make a point to you, lads? Obviously,
Of course.
Sligo, Pats, and Rovers are all bigger clubs than, and I'm not trying to sound this to be cocky or facetious when I say this, but they're obviously bigger clubs than the likes of your Harps and your Droghedis. So I'd like to make the point that in the window, if it was put to them players, would you rather sign for a club of that ilk than stay during the season? Would you think they take it up, given that Foley is a Dublin man himself, that if he was to make the trek down to someone like a Pats or a Bowes, and even then you have the likes of Lyons. Like, Lyons is a good player. Now, he's shown this season that he can hold his own in the league, because he was only really able to do it in the first division before. So my question to you is if them 2 lads were put in front of you during this window that opens next week or the week after, would you take them?
Yeah, I'll go first there, Dylan, if you wouldn't mind. I think I definitely would. My only problem with that would be they would be under contract, and you'd have to question if the clubs would be willing to pay a fee. I don't think they would, to be honest. Especially after COVID, they don't have the gates. So I don't think they'd be willing to pay a fee unless a player is really, levels above the rest.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be too realistic, at least for Pats anyway, to pay a fee for any of them players. But looking at them, they're all great players, and I definitely take them at Pats. But I just don't think I can see it happening. What about you, Dylan?
No, won't take them.
Sure, he thinks Sligo are already the perfect squad. He's a bit
I
delusional.
have faith in Romeo Parks.
Oh.
He's gone.
How many goals got this year?
Once he comes back from his suspension, he's gonna be fine. Trust me. He's gonna start it off with a brace away to a fucking team that got their name from a Scrabble board, whatever they call it out in Iceland. He's gonna get a brace out there. We're gonna win away and home. He's gonna score in both games, and he's gonna be flying for the rest of the season. He's gonna knock out Rosenborg. I have faith in him, man.
You can have all the faith you want. It's not going to happen, I'm afraid, Dylan. But anyway.
Have all the faith you
want. How many goals do you have?
Delusional if you think Sligo's going to beat Rosenborg.
No chance.
We will. We'll beat them. We will.
You need to get there first. You have to beat this Icelandic team.
If the Dundalk 2017 and 18 side couldn't beat Rosenborg, there's not a flying chance Sligo have a chance.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Ah.
We'll see.
We will, definitely. All right.
We will see.
Now, all right, so we have the pleasure of speaking to Craig this time. So, Craig, obviously you're a big Rovers fan. You have a lot of knowledge when it comes to Rovers. So, first of all, how did you get into supporting Rovers? Were you always a Rovers fan, or how did that work?
It was basically, I'm going to be honest, I was born into a Rovers family. Like, my dad's side, four generations back from me are all hoops. Like, I'm a fifth generational hoop in my family. Like, even though I didn't start going to games till I was
Yeah,
five-ish, uh, like, it's been stuck in me since I was younger. There was no chance of me supporting someone like Pats, Bowers or Shells when it comes to
yeah.
clubs in the League One. It was always going to be Rovers for me. So,
Mm.
my first game was Bray away the start of the 2009 season, and I've been going ever since. So in 12 years, I've seen Rovers win everything domestically, so I'm happy enough with that.
Mm. All right, I've got two quick questions. First of all, obviously you said you've been supporting Rovers for 12 years. In them 12 years, he's the best player you've ever seen play for Shamrock Rovers. I have a feeling I know what
Right.
you're going to say.
Me
Maybe.
head says Stephen Rice because he would give you a solid 8 out of 10 every
Mm.
week, and
Yeah,
he was arguably the best. Like, people talk about Jack Jackson or McInnes and all these players over the years, and yeah, they were good. Gary McCabe was another favourite of mine, but like, yeah, they were good for us. But Royce was up there, and Royce would be, if not, then player I'm gonna mention next from my heart. He would be up there as my favourite player during my time following Rovers, but my heart has to always go with God. Gary Twigg, 89 goals in 120 games. Like, he got 2 goals. Forever steeped in Rovers history. He got 2 goals in the first derby in Tallaght to win us the derby. He scored the first goal in Tallaght. Like,
mm. Yeah,
forever etched in Rovers history, and he'll always be known to a lot of younger Rovers fans and a lot of older Rovers fans still call him it. We call him God up here because of what he done in his 3 years at the 4 years at the club. He scored 89 goals in 120 games. If he would have stayed for another 2 or 3 seasons, he would have broke Paddy Ambrose's record at Rovers for all-time goal score.
yeah. I've got one of my mates who are Rovers fans. They're constantly singing the old Twig of Scotland chant in the air, and he wasn't even a fan when he was playing. So it just shows he's still a legend up there in Tala.
Yeah.
And now, secondly, what's your favourite ever Shamrock Rovers goal that you've ever seen?
Favourite ever Shamrock Rovers goal. Now, can I put out three?
You put as many as you like.
Right, no, I can't narrow it down. Five, I'll do. I'll do five. What's it? Number one, Pat Sullivan against Partizan Belgrade. One for the moment, and two for the main fact that it was an absolute screamer of a goal.
Yeah, it was.
Headed out to him, and he just fought. Like, Pat Sullivan never scored, and that's a fact. Like, you look at his records, he never scored, and he hits an absolute peach of a volley into the fucking top corner against Partizan. Like, then we have Graham Burke against Mlada Boleslav in 2017. Took one touch out of his feet, let it bounce, and bam, top corner job from about 35 yards out, I'd say. Then you had Aaron Green against Apollon Limassol in 2019, where he got the ball off free kick, quick 1-2 with Jack Bourne, turned inside and hit it from 30 yards out into the top corner. Absolute beauty of a strike. But two that mean the most to me would be Gary Twigg, 88th minute against Bowles, and Gary Twigg, 89th minute against Bowles when we bet him 2-1 and he celebrated in front of that fans. Beautiful,
Oh.
beautiful scenes.
I'm sure you remember that pretty fondly. I'm sure the Bowers fans probably would try to get rid of that memory out of their head. But anyway.
They remember a fan still. They remember a fan still.
All right. So, cheers, Craig. Before we just talk about Rovers, before we finish about talking about Rovers, if I had to press you, will Rovers win the league this season? What would you say?
Head says it's tough because we're not playing as great as last year. I mean, hard to always say Rovers will win the league, even if we were 90 year before. Like, if you're a League One fan, you know what I'm saying. Like, even if your team was battling relegation the year before, you get one or two signs in, you're like, oh, if we get this run of
Yeah.
form, like, we look at a few lads in the group that we have, like, they're saying, like, oh, if we get these 2 or 3 players in, and we're going to be challenging next year, and we're going to be in Europe and all this, and I'm just like, it's League One fans are forever going to be
Don't
the
forget the cup
optimists.
contenders, by the way.
Oh
Cup
yeah, the
contenders
cup
for
contenders. They're gonna beat all the non-league sides and make their way up, and then they're gonna be slide going to semi-final. They're gonna beat Dundalk in the final and all that.
Yeah,
But League of Ireland fans are forever the eternal optimists that we believe that even if a team are absolutely shy, that we're gonna beat everybody. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to be
Well,
honest.
last season,
When we drew AC Milan last year, I was like, head says we're gonna get battered. Heart will forever say there's a chance. Just in the right light, Zlatan might get his leg snapped and Donnarumma might come down with Nunes and then we're through. Like it's just forever the
season,
optimist. Like, but me head says it's gonna be tough, but I still think we win it. Me heart will forever say that we're going to win it.
Your head and heart both must be crazy in that case. So we'll move on to Dundalk. Formerly rivals the Rovers, probably not anymore after their poor season.
No, I'm sorry. Let me stop you there because
Go
I know this is a thing in the league. In my lifetime, Dundalk have been rivals with Cork, with Drogheda,
on.
with Pats, with
With
us,
Pat? Nah,
with
not with Pat.
us. No, they literally will force a rivalry with anybody in the round. If they're fifth, or sixth, or seventh, or when they were in 2012 bringing 50 fans to stadiums, losing 7-0, and then claiming they were all at that game, even though that was somehow 2,100 of them can show up to Tala now and try and claim tickets off regular Rovers fans. Like, no, if I'm going to be honest now, I don't want to do a hatchet job on Dundalk when I say this, but that's not real sport. We know what real sport is, lads. You know who your regulars are. You know who your home and away fans are when you go to the grounds. Like, you don't, these belongings that you see, oh, I support these, I support those, and I only support Dundalk because Drogheda felt shy. Like, let's be honest, it happens in some occasions. I'm not saying it happens on all occasions. Some fans were younger when these stuff happened, and now they only got into it. But there is some people who have gone from supporting Drogheda because Drogheda went to absolute shy and then went on to support Dundalk, and now they claim they're massive Dundalk heads. No, you just switch. And if Dundalk were to go down this year, even though it's very, very unlikely, would I be surprised because of how far Drogheda are up the table that they'd go back to supporting Drogheda? No, because it's fickle. They have a fan base that's built on sand. Fair enough. I'm gonna give a shout out to one of the fans who I am in regular contact. You have your fans like your Jamie Clowns up there who care about that club, and there's many fans like him in the Shed Side Army. There's many fans that care about that club and want what's best for them. And I do agree that Bill Hulsier is like the Kilcoynes when I was at Rovers. It's like many owners that have happened in the league that don't hatch jobs on clubs, but there is a certain amount of that support who are very, very mouthy that aren't supporting the league as long as us, aren't supporting their own club as long as I'm alive, and couldn't name off 5 players from the 90s and early 2000s of that Dundalk side that were in the first divisions and like teetering in between the Premier and the first division. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think you said your piece there. Definitely a fair point.
Oh,
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think it's hard to say though because obviously there is so many new Dundalk fans. But like you said, you probably did take out a lot of good points there. I agree with you on a lot of them. You have a lot of new fans, but a lot of them would be, me and Dylan's age. So they probably don't know the tough times. They've only ever been Dundalk fans under the Kenny era and now the Vinnie Perth era.
yeah,
So now
like,
this is the first time they have a few problems. See how it goes.
yeah, they only have a few problems, and now they're like,
Mm.
oh, Shambles, get Magilton out because he doesn't know what he's doing.
yeah.
Dylan, I'd say you remember travelling up to Oriel Park and he had the begging buckets outside the stadium, asking fans of other clubs to put money into them begging buckets to save their own club. I'd say you remember that, so I do.
I definitely do.
I haven't been to Oriel.
I can remember that now, to be honest with you, Craig. Yeah.
Like, I just don't get how they say, oh, private investors at Rovers, this at Bowles, hipsters, Pats, backed by a private owner in Kelleher. Yeah, but lads, you still realise that before peak six, the bulk of your money that was put into that club was savings and investments from real fans in that club. And as soon as Stephen Kenny hit the jackpot, and I'm not saying, like, fair enough, I am a bit bitter because of how it turned out at Rovers with Kenny, the right manager at the wrong time. But I'm just going to be honest when I say this. Stephen Jenny hit the jackpot with the Dundalk job when he got it because there was low expectation and they weren't expecting much from him. And he was a god. He's a god up there. Like the same way we
Mm.
look at Twiggy, they look at
Yeah.
Stephen Kenny like that. Like, but
Yeah.
for me, the facts are that fans are in around your ages, lads, but they shouldn't be trying to lecture. And I'm only a few years older than you. Like, I think I'm only a year
Yeah.
older than you. Like, but they shouldn't be trying to lecture fans who have been watching this league far longer than them on how wasn't much of a real sport that they are than me, even though that they've been following the league a fucking 1 minute and they think that they know more about the league than I do. Like,
Yeah, I think you're touching that very well. So appreciate your insight in that, Craig. Obviously, know your stuff. I can tell even when you're raffling on points about Pats and the owners and everything, you definitely know your stuff. So fair play to you. So we'll move on to the European draw, and I think the best place we should start is Dundalk after that long rant. So we
Yeah.
should go to Dundalk against Newtown. So I've done a bit of research here. Newtown, obviously, they're playing Wales. They're currently 9th in the Welsh division, and the Welsh division splits into two. So it's a 12-team league. The top 6 go into a bracket by themselves to see who wins the league and gets Europe, and the bottom 6
So
go in to
is it
see
like
who
the Scottish
Northern Irish.
Premiership?
Scottish League,
Yeah,
Scottish
yeah,
and Northern Irish League, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's like that, and they're in the bottom half now, and they're pretty comfortable. They won't get relegated, but
What's the
they're
standard
definitely
league
not
there,
having a
but
good
it's
season.
like
Oh, it's pretty
part-time,
mixed.
non-league.
Yeah, part time. Yeah. I think there's 1 or 2 full-time teams, but mainly part-time. I think there's only 1 league as well, so there's no like first division or equivalent to that. So even if there is
Yeah.
relegation, you go into like a completely amateur pyramid, I'm pretty sure. So it's definitely not as strong as the League of Ireland, I wouldn't say. And to be
Well,
honest, that's probably
sorry, I only know things about that club.
yeah. What do you know?
One that an ex-Dundalk player, I think it was a goalkeeper, Steve Williams, is
Yeah.
the cousin of Newtown AFC's manager. I don't know the manager's name, to be honest. And I also know that there's a ex-Oldham teammate of Patrick Hoban in that Newtown side.
Oh well, yeah, definitely some good knowledge there. Like I said before, you know your stuff. So I'd probably expect Dundalk to win this game. I think Dundalk are probably the favourites. What do you think, though?
I mean, we've
It's
seen
hard
it
to
last
say.
year.
Yeah.
We've seen it last year. You know, they weren't the best during the season, but then when they got to Europe, they got into the Europa League group stage. They actually scored goals in the group stages, which I was actually surprised they had done. And they scored some good goals in the group stages. But then,
Yeah.
it's hard with Europe this year. You know, the teams you don't know much about the opposition, so you don't know how they're going to perform. But I do see Dundalk beating this Newtown team.
Yeah, me too. Craig, what do you think?
See how they could be. I think they're gonna go through comfortably, and I'm not like no disrespect to Newtown or anything, but I just think even though this Dundalk side is ran like a circus and it's an absolute shambles, the fact is they have too much quality to be not being not beating this well amateur in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it was, but in my opinion, when it comes to it, they're supposed to be playing either Levadia Tallinn or a team that Levadia Tallinn are playing. I think it's another Icelandic team, someone
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
next round. And Levadia Tallinn will be a big step up on this Newtown side. Now, I'm still saying, even if Dundalk go through, I'd say they could still beat Levadia Tallinn, but it'd be a major improvement on this Newtown side.
Yeah. All right, now, Dylan, I'll let you pronounce this Sligo tie because I do not want to butcher. I want to leave it to you. So, who are Sligo
We
playing?
haven't a clue what to do. I don't know how you do it. It's FH Hafnar Jardar or something like that. I don't know how to
Hafnar
say it.
Ah, perfect, Craig. I knew you'd have the
What he
pronunciation in
said.
you.
What he said. What he said.
All
Yeah.
right. So, do you have any research on these?
Actually looking at them now. I haven't done much research. You know, I've been busy over the last few days. I haven't got around to it, but I'm looking at it now. You know, they're playing right now. Actually, 50 minutes in, they're on 1-1 with St. Jarnan.
Yeah.
Shannon.
They're actually drawing 1-1 with St. Jarnan.
Yeah. So the team that Bowes are playing.
Is this FK Shannon or Shannon that Bowes are playing? Because there's two Shannon sites, FK and Shannon themselves.
Yeah.
It's Jarnan.
Yeah, so the team that Bowes are playing. So that would be interesting to see how that game goes.
Both are playing. So yeah, they're actually drawing 1-1 at the moment.
Interesting, yeah.
But yeah, the team we're playing I'm just gonna call them that Icelandic team. They're sixth in their league.
Yeah.
Look, the table hasn't been the best of seasons. Well, I mean, they're only 8 games in.
They're a 12-team league, so mid-table.
Yeah. 3 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses.
Any
Yeah,
notable players in that squad, Dylan, that would be known, or is it just a mixture of everything?
no, not really.
I think they have one international, actually, if I'm correct. They have one player that was in the Iceland squad. I don't think he's in the Euro squad, but he's definitely featured for Iceland before. I think he's a centre mid, so that's probably one to watch out for. I'm not going to even attempt to butcher his name, to be honest with you. But so
Read it
he'd
out.
be one.
I'll have a go.
To be honest with you, there's no chance I'm even going to try read it out to you. All right, so we'll move on to both.
Their goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He's played for Blackburn Rovers, Manchester City.
He's a bit of experience then, doesn't he?
What about TV then? Yeah.
Definitely
But it's the same with the debate that I tried to have in the group with 2 Watford lads that tried to give me, Brian Murphy was on the books of Manchester City and all that when he never played a game, just like, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair. Sure, he's a figure in the dressing room.
Going back to this, I do see us getting, through from this, but then it's Rosenborg. They're not an easy side to play, but, they're Sligo Rovers, to pull off the spectaculars, and I think we'll beat Rosenborg too.
Like you said, Craig, you have to be pretty optimistic.
Yeah, you can be optimistic, yet there's a difference between being optimistic and being delusional. Because, I fully believe Sligo have the quality to beat this Icelandic side. I'm not saying that they don't, but it's going to be 2-3 times the side of this Icelandic side that they're going to play in Rosenborg. This Icelandic side probably will cost in around maybe 2.5 million, 3 million, whereas that Rosenborg side has solid international level type players that squad could be worth up to 40 million, 50 million, and Sligo's squad
100.
value is probably about packet Rolo,
there's definitely a big difference in that.
No, I literally know none of these players.
What, the Rosenborg players?
I do think that you can be optimistic, yes, but like I said a few minutes ago, if the Dundalk sides of 2017, 2018, some that proclaim them sides to be arguably the best leagues I've ever seen, can't beat that Rosenborg sides. I think it's going to be a very, very hard uphill task for Sligo to compete with.
Yeah, I can agree on that one, Craig, to be fair.
Also, I wanted over there that I do know, Tetty used to play for Norwich.
Yeah, I do.
He's actually playing with them now.
He's a good player, yeah. Premier League experience.
Tetty versus Greg Bolger.
I'm backing Greg Bolger, I have to say.
You have to, yeah.
100%. All right, so now the Bows tie. Bows are playing the team that you just said before, St. Jaron. Is it? St. Jaron?
Bows are playing Jaron.
Yeah.
Jaron, whatever.
What Craig said. So this side are 11th anyway. They're not having the best seasons. So once again, the draws are pretty happy. I'd say I'd be very happy if I was a Bows fan. This Conference League seems to be a bit of an easier task to get through in than the Europa League before it. So I'd probably be pretty optimistic again, to be honest with you. It's great. It's great to have League of Ireland sides progressing in Europe, even if you don't support them. It's good to see.
Marlow fast.
Make money. What?
I want them all out. I now make this comment. League of Ireland family, and isn't it great that Dundalk qualified last year? And isn't it great that clubs go far? No. If Rovers don't go far, I don't care. I want Sligo out. Whenever it's happened, I want Sligo out in the first round.
You don't want Sligo out. You don't want Sligo out.
And I especially.
He's down inside your Sligo fan.
Is that right, Craig?
Yeah, was it?
Deep down, you're a Sligo fan, Dylan said.
Yeah, love out Sligo. I love out Sligo. Yeah, but fucking for me, the one thing about Bowles on this side, they're very inconsistent. Bowles can go on a streak of going 2 or 3 games playing amazing football. And I'm not saying that they don't play amazing football all the time. Great team goals this year, especially key players like the likes of Ali Coote, the likes of Dawson Devoy, Keith Buckley, Liam Bortz. like that, and even more lads like Stephen Mallon and Bastian Airy to come in. But the only thing for me is that they are very, very, very inconsistent when it comes to games. Like even that I've been talking to a few balls lads, and even they say their time management is appalling. Like they can go 86 minutes holding a win, holding on, holding on. Then as soon as it hits 86 minutes, it's like right, everything's out the window now. If we concede, we concede. Ah well, sure, that's good enough. We'll draw the game. So
Yeah.
like you look at Perry the weekend, they were 1-0 up till what the 92nd minute, and Owen Toll
90,
scored
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, you're right
You
with that
seen
one
that
as
against
well.
us as well.
And even Longford, they conceded twice to
Yeah,
Connor Davies. Yeah,
Connor Davies
Yeah.
got 2 goals that second
Yeah.
game of the season when they were 2-0 down at half time.
Yeah, you're right. All right, now to your side, Craig. I'm sure you'll have a lot of knowledge to do with Slovan Bratislava. So obviously they played
Slovan
Dundalk.
Bratislava, they played Dundalk, and I'm not
They
going to lie to this, boys, but due to the leaving cert, I haven't done much research on them. So
That's a good sign. All right.
I'm on South score at the moment, so I'm going to give them another look to see what's the score.
I'll give them a look too. I'll give them a look too.
So from what I've known, they're top of their league. Then I think they're about 8 or 9 points ahead.
No.
That doesn't sound good. So
Now
obviously a decent side.
that league is split into two, but
Right.
like they're miles ahead of like the team that's in second, which is DAC.
Yeah.
Notable players. Actually, now that I think, looking at the squad, there's no real proper like noticeable players. If you get
I
me.
think they have an international. They have a Slovakian player. I'm not sure who it is. He has a really short
Philip
name.
Lishi. Yeah, Philip Lishi. He's on the bench
Yeah.
for Slovakia, but he's
Yeah,
never
that's
came on. This is what I made this point to someone the other day. They were saying, "Oh, should you have internationals in the squad?" And I was like, "Yeah, but which one of them starts?" Like, and that's not me trying to be harsh around, but like,
Yeah.
these lads don't start for that country or don't even get game time for that country. Another player, Vladimir Weiss, they don't get
Right,
game
that's
time
the
for
one.
that country, so there's no point in saying, "Oh, these internationals." Like that's like me saying, "Oh, Danny Mandrew was an Irish international. He never got on the pitch."
Yeah, good point.
Hey, you do know Vladimir Weiss has played 69 games for Slovakia.
I know, Dylan, but at this moment in time, he hasn't played in the Euros. All right, I'm clinging on. Dylan, let me
Clinging
cling
on to
on to
hope.
hope. Let me cling on to hope.
Maybe you're doing what Dylan was doing earlier. A bit of optimistic hope, we call it. But anyway, so
Yeah, if we get through Slovan, which head, that's as good. Like, if I'm going to be honest, though, them four sides, Slovan were the second most hopeful I was for,
yeah,
because
there's a
like
broken team, yeah.
if Legia and if we would have got Legia and Malmo, they would have made an absolute show of us on the pitch.
Yeah, I agree.
Whereas with Slovan, we'll have Richie Towell there. We might have a few injuries back. Like Finna will be back tomorrow. Not tomorrow night, Friday night against Waterford. Like we're gonna have few of the injuries back. But for if we have a full strength squad, bar Neil Ferrugia, fucking God bless him, he's out for 3 months. But
Yeah.
bar him, if we had a full strength squad, I would like our chances. But the only thing is, are we able to score without trying to walk that ball into the net? That's all. That's because if you try, fair enough, you do that against our likes of Harps and Hardradas, and you might pull off a small result. You cannot do that in Europe because
Yeah,
you
I
will be
agree.
made pay for it, and you will be made paid harshly. If we are to be Slovan, we play
Young
RSC
boys.
Young Boys, and I saw someone
Good
make
side.
a comment before. Rovers actually thought they were playing with young boys. Then my response was when we turn into boss. But for me, for for me, especially. Even if we do go out, and I'm hoping we don't, but even if we do go out Slovan, there's that guaranteed route into the third round of the UEFA
Conference.
Europa Conference League. Is that what it's called? Dylan,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
about that, so you're playing on the first league.
That's not
What's
playing
it?
it either. I can't say anything.
But the Conference League, what's it? We're guaranteed third round Conference League either way. So if we win, we play young boys. We might get knocked out. Then we're in the conference. Playoffs? If we lose, we're in the third round. The champions part in the Conference League. Do you know what I'm saying? So either
Yeah, I
way,
get you.
I'm not saying it's a win-win. We're guaranteed €810,000 from this European run. So if
And
someone
you're
was to say
guaranteed
that
6
to me,
games.
we're guaranteed 6 games, and it will mess up our schedule a little bit. And I'm hoping that a few rumours that I'm hearing about Rovers in the transfer window are true. But you know what the League of Ireland's like. 1 minute you're
Go on,
hearing one
throw them out there. Come on, let's hear those. Let's hear those rumors.
Spill the tea.
a man whose nickname in England as Ginger Pele.
Oh,
There
God.
is talk of him coming back now. I don't know whether that will be this summer or whether it'll be in the winter, but there is talk of him coming back. There's also talk about by Daniel Cleary, who runs all things LOI, that we're looking in Europe for a striker, which is not true.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm being honest, if we are looking for a striker in Europe, what he says is somehow true. I hope it's not another Orhan Voic job that he gets 6 games, throws a punch at a manager, and then walks off. Like,
Yeah. Or maybe another Jamal Ricketts. I'm sure you'll know about him.
Jamal Ricketts doesn't ring a bell. I remember Rohan Ricketts.
Rohan Ricketts, that's the one, not Jamal.
Rohan Ricketts, what a man. Scored an absolute peach of a goal against Derry to basically win us the league in 2011, and got Rovers on Soccer AM after we bet Partizan, and played a massive part in Rovers' Europa campaign. I now think he's over in India or somewhere like that. I don't know what if he's retired yet or not, but like,
The journeyman.
he's a journeyman. Like, he went through every league. He went from playing like Premier League in England to playing in every league around the world.
I think he's played in like 18 or 19 different clubs. It's actually crazy. He's definitely a man to be constantly moving around. He definitely probably hasn't got a house yet since he's turned an adult. So obviously, wishing the best to look to the sides in Europe, apart from Craig. Craig wants everyone else to do shite apart from Rovers. How do you feel about that, Dylan? Are you going for everyone else, or do you want everyone else to get knocked out apart from Sligo? You don't care. All right. So
Deep down he agrees with me, Jamie. He just wants
to say it.
He wants to,
yeah. All right. So now, boys, finally, we'll go ahead to the games. Yeah. I have to keep it quiet. We're moving on now. We'll move on to now the games this weekend. We've got a few good games, I have to say. Craig might have to be the neutral adjudicator for one of these games now. But first of all, we'll go to Daily Mount for Rovers against Drogheda. How do you see this one going, Dylan? Rovers and Drogheda.
I actually think it'd be a good game. Drogheda, they've just beaten us. Bows have really stepped up their game after their rough start to the season. Both teams have been playing well recently. As was it you or Craig said, they haven't been that consistent this season. On and off. Drogheda kind of been the same, but more on the good side of things. But yeah, I don't think any team will have it easy. I do think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, it's fair. What about you, Craig? How do you see this one going?
Same as Dylan. I think it's either going to be a scrappy score draw, or I think it's going to be a scrappy 2-1 win either way. Both sides are great, have the ability of being great football sides. Both sides have experience and all that, but both sides are very, very inconsistent at points this season.
Definitely. I think you've covered a lot there. I think I'd have to agree with what you said there now. So I'd probably end up going for a draw. I think there'll be goals in this game. Both defences. Well, no, draws have been pretty solid, but both defence changes a lot. So I'm going to go 2-2. 2-2 draw. Should be a good game.
It also has to be. Sorry, just before we move on to the next game, also has to be the question: will Bowes rest players, given that the derby's on Monday?
That's a good point. Yeah, I haven't even thought about that.
Okay.
And as well, obviously, I think Rovers would have a smaller squad than Rovers. Rovers have a big squad, albeit with a few injuries though. So that'll be another factor.
How many times do I have to keep on saying it in groups and here and everywhere? It's 9 injuries we still have out, and yet people are saying, "Oh, sure, Rovers are on a horrible run of form." Especially a certain man on this call has been saying to me a lot.
Dylan,
what was it? 1 of 5 games.
What?
Wasn't it?
I've never talked to you in my life.
Right.
You weren't so happy the other night. I text you about Sligo. You were boasting on Friday night about Sligo being on top of the league and getting the points advantage. And then what happened Saturday? He went all quiet and he wasn't with me posting a now league table result into the group.
I didn't go quiet.
You
Right,
best believe you'll
anyway,
be going
on
quiet
it,
after Pat beats Sligo later, but we'll talk about that in a while.
okay.
We'll go to Dundalk against Longford. Obviously Dundalk will be under Vinny Perth this time. New manager, which is crazy by itself, you know.
We'll get
So
that after the previews. We'll do a little quick spot on
yeah,
that.
definitely. So Dundalk against Longford. Go ahead.
I don't think Vinny Perth's going to change anything.
Hmm.
I think the Dundalk team itself, if they couldn't perform, I personally think, that three they had, three managers, obviously they're going to be good. But under that three, they weren't performing. Then under Magilton alone, they weren't performing. Are they going to perform under Perth? No. They've got big players on big money. So he was on 4,000. I said it many times on the podcast, and haven't heard much about him. The Korean fella, Han or something like that.
Yeah.
Haven't heard much about him either. They signed Junior from us. He's been all right. Hoban's back from injury now. He could be leaving during this transfer
That's how
window.
most unlikable man in the league. I'm not even joking. I can't wait for him to leave this league.
He's a goal scorer, though, to be fair.
Interesting. And then there's others like Shields. He could be off the Linfield, is it?
That looks
Shields
like pretty close to being
Right,
done.
that was a surprise to me. Wasn't expecting that. But then
He lives
Longford,
up north. He lives only a
haven't
few
had a
minutes
better
from the
season.
stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean. Like I just wasn't expecting the move. Like he captain the club, and then in the middle of the season he just goes off an infield. It's an interesting one. But then for Longford, they're 10th, aren't they? They're 10th now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
Yeah, 10th. But
Sean and Bobby will be.
Longford aren't a bad club. Not a bad team either.
definitely not.
They've performed in many games this season, even games they've lost, performed. And I think they're going to perform again, and they're going to hold Dundalk to 1-0 on.
Solid, yeah. What about you, Craig? How do you see this one going?
Again, I don't like it. Me and Dylan are agreeing a lot. But I do believe that there's a bunch of mercenaries in this Dundalk side that won't play for any manager, that they're just waiting to pick up a check, and then they're like, right, play a few games, might do well, might not, but sure, look, I can get me money at the end of the week, and that's all that matters to me. So
Yeah.
I think that this young Longford side has a bit of grit, has a bit of determination. Of saw it in the game against Rovers. Now, I know they weren't supposed to be in great against Pats, were they, Jamie? They weren't supposed
They
to be.
weren't that good. They weren't that good, to be honest.
I do hope that players like Lee Stacey, the likes of Carl Chambers, Aaron Bulger, Aaron O'Driscoll, them types of lads in that squad can pull them together and push on. Aaron Dobbs as well up top, can push them on for a draw, because I'm not trying to be bad, no disrespect to Longford or anybody who supports Longford. I can't see them beating Dundalk, but I can see them holding with it to draw. So I agree with Dylan, either 0-0 or 1-0 draw.
Yeah, I think you brought me good points there. I think new manager bounce, although he's been there before, and a lot of players probably wouldn't be the happiest to see him back. There'll be new players. There've been new players that came in. The likes of Mitch Cogan, who's probably been one of the better new players. They'll be there to prove a point, getting this squad. I think Longford, like I said, I think I mention it every week. Someone said it to me already. Every single week, I mention how good a guy called Dylan Grimes is. One of my favourite players in the league.
Grimy ex-Dundalk.
Yeah, he's very good though, isn't he? Off the wing. I think he's a good player. I think he'd get in at Rovers. Maybe that's a bit fair, but yeah.
No, he's a good player, but he's a bit of a godster off the pitch. I'll just put it that way.
All right.
Fair enough.
So if I was to say anything, I'd go probably 2-1 Dundalk, but I can definitely see Longford getting a result there as well. Now the big one, Craig. You better not let this one go into a big argument, but
right, just want me to start off, or just
go on,
or
you
just
start. You start off, Craig. Go on.
You start off.
Right, Pats hate them, hate the sight of them, hate the fans, hate the players, hate the manager. Sick now. Same with Sligo, hate the manager. I like Bucko. I do like Bucko purely because Pat's done the dirty on him and got rid of him after all he'd done for that club. And he turned around and was like, right, you've done that on me, right, I'm going to go off and perform at another club, and has done that at Sligo. I still don't like Sligo, don't like that fan base, don't like that players, don't like in particular centre mid for them at the moment, absolute scumbag.
We won't get into that, Craig. Well, bear away from
That's
that
a
one.
Royals. That your Royals and crash at teas, and you know who I'm talking about. But like, if I'm going to be honest, both sides have been amazing this year. Like, I'd say a lot of years now. I've wrote from the start of the season. I wrote off Pats.
Oh,
I
stop
said
it. I'm
Pats are
blushing.
going to be seventh or eighth. I thought Sligo would be up there. I'm not saying that they weren't. I'm not saying that I discount that Sligo, but I did with Pats. I just thought Pats were going to be absolutely shocking. I didn't raise Stephen O'Donnell as manager, but even at that, I don't think Stephen O'Donnell's still on the managerial role up there. I think it's an Alan Matthews job. But in my opinion, this game is going to be very tough for both sides, very grueling. But was it in Richmond?
Yeah.
It is indeed.
Yeah, 2-1 Pats win because in Richmond
Yes!
can
Come
pull it
on,
off.
Craig. Wait, say that again, Dylan. Say
Why
it a bit
are you
louder.
celebrating? Why are
Say
you
it a bit louder,
celebrating?
Craig.
Just because of his reaction, I'm going to say 2-all now. 2-all draw. No, it's 2-1
You all
win.
draw. He
Sure.
said it. He said it.
Purely because it's going to be in Richmond, and isn't there going to be a few fans back at it?
Yeah, there will be 200 fans.
Yeah, so there's going to be not as
200
much
fans.
as yeah.
There's
No, I
200
said
fans.
Yeah.
200 fans. Most grounds have
200
200
fans.
fans back.
Yeah, Pat had 200 fans going. Yeah.
Wait, Jews not have 200 back there.
I didn't even know they had 200 fans.
Ah, stop that. Stop. We have more fans than Sligo. Nah, stop that. I'm
Lie,
not taking that.
lie,
No.
lie,
No.
lie. You barely have
That's
enough
right.
fans to fill your stadium, for fuck's sake.
Ah,
Sligo, as much as I hate Sligo as a town, and as no, I don't hate that people. I hate the Sligo fan base for the way that they treated some of our fans. And I'm not talking about the boyos who look for trouble. I'm just talking about your regular Joe Soaps who go to the league. The way some of our fans been treated out with Sligo is absolutely appalling. Telling us that they were going to put a cage up back in the early 2000s, which is wrong to do on regular people. Like, but in reality, Sligo is a footballing town. Like you saw when we played Sligo, even in every cup final Sligo was in, they cleared out the town. They got everybody from the town to go to them cup finals. Like I even remember there was a little documentary done before our cup final with them in 2010, and it was literally someone shut off the lights in the town as the whole town had went up to Dublin to watch that game. So I can't agree with you, Jamie. Here, I've agreed with you on a few things tonight. I can't agree with you here saying that Pats have more fans than Sligo.
all right, we have better fans. We can agree on that, Craig. Yeah. All right. Now I'm not gonna let you answer. All right. No. All
Better
right. So
fans
next.
sitting on the command. But no, I don't think so. If I was to say Harps has better fans than both of you, Tommy Corley, if you're listening,
Tommy,
you know what I'm on about.
fan. Tommy's the best League of Ireland fan of any club. Go on, Tommy.
You know.
All right. All right, Dylan. You can go next.
Yeah. Both clubs been. I mean, credit to Pats this season. They started off well. You know, they haven't been as well as they have been. You know, the last few games, and then obviously us. You know, we've kept it up until that game against Drogheda. Like, you know, we fell against Derry. We got back up again. We got some good results since. You know, bet Shams away. We were top of the league for a while. But yeah, I just see that happen again. You know,
For
we
one
dropped.
how
We dropped.
football and
We dropped down against Drogheda. We had Parks suspended, Buckley's injured, them two missing again this weekend against Pats. But I think I said it there a few weeks ago in that group chat they were all in. There's only two teams that I'm afraid of, and it's Drogheda and Pats. And I'd be more afraid of Drogheda than Pats. But I do see a 1-0 win here for a team in red. But they're going to be wearing white this weekend, and I think we're
well,
going to
that,
1-0.
sorry, Dale, but that really narrows it down. Like it really is. A team in red's got to be 1-0.
Craig.
That's
he's
the
right
point
because
of it.
He's red. He's right because Pat will be the ones in red. Sligo will be in their red away jersey. Isn't that right,
Do you
Tom?
not hear what I said, though? Do you not hear what I said?
I did, yeah, for
I
sure.
said
I
they'd
think
be
we
in
both
white
know.
this weekend. They'd be in white this weekend, and Sligo are going to win 1-0.
Very fair enough. But
Now over to the King. All right, so I think it will be a domination. All right, just like last time, we got unlucky. County come away to draw all over them. Last minute winner. I'm sure you know about that now, don't you, Dylan?
hold on, King. No, hold on there a second, Jamie. Did you just call yourself the king for
I did.
for the prediction?
I'm the prediction king. Honestly, I get them all right. Every single time.
Yeah,
And I'm
what's
going to
now?
get this one right as well.
Pats are going to lose 4-0 now because you said that.
Oh.
Your jinx. They're going to get pumped now because of that.
Oh, I hope not. I have to stop the
Ronnie
predictions to
Kenny
lose
masterclass.
So I think now the birthday boy, obviously last time, Dylan, he scored a last minute equaliser. I'm sure you know about that, don't you, Dylan? Yeah? Ian Birmingham last minute equaliser.
Sorry,
And,
something at my throat there. That was
you're better off not talking, Craig. You know, you're talking a bunch of waffle. Anyway, so I think this time Ian
awful lot of
Birmingham's
facts.
going to have
James.
another. We both know it's waffle.
Awful lot of facts.
All right, now this time
Alright, come on, say your
Birmingham's going to
prediction.
have an amazing game again. It's going to be a 2-1 Pats win. Pats are going to be amazing. Ronan Cotton's going to score a brace and celebrate so hard because, you know, he knows that Sligo, you know, they're not as big of a club as Pats are. He knows he's made the right choice going to Pats. He knows. And he's going to score twice. And it will be perfect. All right.
And what? No one in Sligo
bigger
will
club
piss
than
off.
those two combined. Like, behave the same Pats are a bigger club than Sligo. You aren't even the biggest club on the south side, including UCD and Cabo.
UCD and Cabo are bigger than Pats. Craig, you've been smoking, my friend. You've been smoking. All right.
No,
So,
UCD have produced much better players than Pats in the past 50 years. Let's be
Pats have
honest.
produced better players than Rovers.
Do you want to get into that, do we?
Pats is the best academy
Owen
in the league.
Doyle, Padre
Come on, Willie. Stop.
All right, we'll move on. You're lucky, Craig. I would have been naming out Pats players for years. All right, so now Waterford against Rovers.
The big side and the south side.
Yeah.
What was it?
Big side and the south side. You're really in the south side, Craig. Are you sure you're not homeless? Anyway, so now Waterford against Shamrock Rovers. So, Waterford
Rather be
obviously in the
homeless than
RSC.
on the Comac.
All right. Waterford against Shamrock Rovers.
Waterford against us in the RSC, yeah. Rovers, if we have a few of them injuries back, I think we could play. Waterford are on a good run of form under Mark Bearcamp. Great manager, and I have a lot of time from off that under the Kosh podcast. Absolute funny. The funniest manager in the league, in my opinion, if not Ollie Horgan. What's it for? They do have that new manager bounce, and they do have a few good results over the past few weeks, but if we have them injuries back, I do think that it will be a 2-1 or 2-0 win to my side, Rovers.
Yeah, Dylan, what do you think?
Waterford have got that win against Dundalk. You know, all the fans have, popped up a bit. They were saying they're going for a cup and all this. They're gonna get Europe.
Sean Kane.
They're gonna be humble. They're gonna be humble this weekend by Shannon. It won't be too much of a hammering, but I'm gonna go 3-1 to Shannon's.
Yeah.
It wasn't Sean saying that, Bobby. Bobby.
I'm gonna agree.
Sean Kane.
Poor lads. Could you imagine they win now? You'll be crucified in the group chat.
If we lose to Waterford, I am gone. Sayonara. Because I know, because this podcast, I will never live that result down.
Definitely not.
Copyright claim. Get it going.
Lawsuit from me to LOI Zone as soon as Rovers lose. You can hear from me, lawyers.
Oh, of course. All right, I'm going to go 2-0 Shamrock Rovers. I think it's the first one we've actually agreed on. We all agree that Rovers are going to win.
Yeah.
All right, now last game, because I think we only have a minute and a half here, boys, until this recording stops. So we better be quick. So now, Harps against Derby, Northwest Derby. Dylan, first you could give a prediction really quickly here now, if you wouldn't mind.
I'll just get it overdone, and I'm going to go 1-1. Harps and Derby.
What about you, Craig?
Harps win 2-1.
Nice one. I'm going to go Harps as well, 2-1. All right, so now, cheers for that, Craig. You know, a nice long podcast, upwards of an hour. So appreciate your time as always, Craig. You know, like I said before, your knowledge is amazing, especially if you do at Rovers. You're really one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever spoke to about the league. So fair play to you. And
I'm on 7 then.
And he's done 17.
It's not like I'm ancient or anything, like.
Not yet, anyway. All right. So yeah, I really appreciate it, Craig.
No, but anytime.
So we'll have another podcast out next week, boys. We'll have a lot to talk about. I'm sure Craig will have his opinions on the derby anyway. We might have to have a little snippet of your reaction when you lose in the derby, yeah, Craig?
Yeah, and no, we won't lose. And I'm back in against I'm back in the stadium against Strata the next weekend.
Yeah, I'm back in on Finn Harps on Monday, so that should be good. All right. What about you, Dylan? You're not back, are you? For a while?
Dylan won't be back until all the fans are back.
I'm not back yet. No, I'm hoping to be back for the game of the 15th against Scrabble board name. But
Best of
yeah,
luck.
it's my birthday.
Half that, yeah,
It'd be my birthday as well. So.
All right. See you next time, boys.
Strata.
Cheers. Thanks. Good luck.
Look.